Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke, ranging from comic books, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Daniel.
And this week's broadcast is brought to you by Audible.
Sign up today and get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial. But you have to go to this address, audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia.
Audible is a fantastic service. They have over 150,000 titles to choose from, all available on your Android device, Kindle, or iPhone.
Right before we jump into our books, we're going to have our Audible recommendation for the week. But for any new brokettes out there, the way the format works is we go through the news, again ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more, before we jump into our pull list for this week on comics.
First up, we have some movie news. This week we did make it over to see the Boxtrolls.
I was so excited to see the Boxtrolls. Anytime there is a stop-motion picture coming out, I have to go see it. I have to support the medium, and it did not disappoint.
Absolutely not. I don't think I had very big expectations for this movie, but it blew me out of the water. Fantastic.
A quick summary of the story. There are trolls that actually steal from the town at night to help out their underground city. Anytime something breaks down, anytime they want to create a new invention, they actually go upstairs in the city and they take signs, they take boxes, they take trash that people are throwing away. So they are technically stealing, but they're not bad things. They're not doing it maliciously.
Exactly. And of course, because it's something different, the town has a problem with them. Mm-hmm. So they're like, we must kill the Boxtrolls. And I don't know, they start killing them.
It was a great movie. The animation was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed my ass off. I think what was most important for me and what made us really enjoy the movie is it's a great movie for kids, but also has a ton of jokes in there for adults.
There was a lot of adult humor, and that's what I was not expecting. And it's stuff that your kids aren't going to get, which is great. But that's one of the things that I love about movies is when both adults and kids can enjoy it. Because you know adults are going for their kids to see this.
Sure.
But they can get something out of it, too.
Exactly.
Going back to the art that you were saying, did you notice all the expressions on their faces? Like, these guys did not go the easy route.
Absolutely right. Even the character designs, the way they're so complex and the way they moved, made it so that it was a challenge for them. And I think the way that, because they pushed themselves so much, it made it that much more visually interesting without getting too complex.
Mm-hmm. It had amazing characters as well. Some moments where I was like, how is that kind of possible? But you let it go because the movie is so great. I think I fell in love with every single character, especially Madame Frou Frou.
One of my favorite villains this year, hands down. It was so funny. Also, the sets. If you stop and take a look at the backgrounds that they built for the buildings, all of that matches and mixes in well with the characters, just as obtuse and weird as the designs for the characters. It was just a feast for the eyes, and then the story itself was super funny and entertaining.
I totally want to cosplay as that girl now, too. Put my hair in pigtails, curl it, done.
She was a redhead, so you could have done it, yeah.
Yep. Overall, great movie. Definitely check it out, guys, if you get the chance.
It's doing well in the box office, thankfully.
Good.
So hopefully this means we'll get more stop motion. Keep it coming.
And
we'll see it all.
Stay a little bit through the credits if you go see it, because that credit scene was hilarious.
Next, we got some video game news. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and the Amiibo figurines got a street date of November 21st.
Guys, we are first in the world. Can I just throw that out there?
Yes, we are first ones getting Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. How great is that?
They also announced the second wave of Amiibo figurines, which will release in December.
These are going to include Luigi, Diddy Kong, Princess Zelda, Pit, Captain Falcon, and the atrocious Little Mac. Anytime you fight him online, he's gonna kick your ass.
So, nothing cool like Pikachu, so why'd they even announce these? They should have announced, I gotcha, Lapras, Pidgeotto, more Pikachus, and another Pikachu, and a Dragonite. That's what they should have announced.
A Dragonite that decks you with its electric punch?
Not even electric punch, just a regular punch. He just punches you.
With his big-ass arm. November 21st, you know what that is the same day as? Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Goodbye, money. Here's my paycheck.
If I were Nintendo, I would not have done this.
Really? Because people are going to choose between one and the other?
You maximize your profits if you separate it by a couple of weeks, because not everyone has the money to get both of the titles. Not everyone pre-orders ahead of time and pays them off little by little.
But, they're still going to make, like, all the money. Really? People are still going to buy both. And what's, like, a month and a half after this?
The holidays. Actually, they start even earlier, right around that time.
Well, you have the holidays, and then you got the tax returns in January. So everybody who couldn't buy the game they want now, they're buying it in tax season. So they're still going to make their money.
Sure, and the other thing that someone pointed out is that one is on the 3DS and one is on the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still worried for people that have both. That's a huge chunk of money. That's $60, $70, $80, $90. That's $100.
Is that stopping
purchase.
us?
Oh, it's not stopping us, but we pre-order ahead of time and we pay off little by little ahead of time. That's how you do it. That's how you afford video games. Pay them off $5, $10 every week.
I still think they're going to make all their money. Kids are going to ask for both of these, and parents are going to go, cool, $100 and I'm done with Christmas? Done.
Going back to Little Mac, I was seeing people online like, Little Mac is overpowered. I'm like, no way, he'll be fine. Just get him up in the air and knock his ass off the screen. Easy, he's weak in the air. Then I went online and played against people. There was one person who was Sheik, and I beat him or her as Falco. Falco's now my main guy because Fox doesn't really work out. Sheik is my second person, but Falco's my main. And I won without losing a life against Sheik. He switched to Little Mac and destroyed me. Because Little Mac has this move, the more you punish him, the more his meter builds. And it builds to a KO meter. So as long as they block and then they hit the BB button once you are at the end of an animation, it's an instant knockout. And they can do that twice. And you only have 2 lives online.
Crazy. Can I just say, though, I have to share this funny story. So, like, the first night Super Smash came out, I wake up, it's like 2 in the morning, and I see you, like, huddled with your back turned towards me and just this light shining behind you. And I'm like, what's he watching over there? And I peek, and you're just playing Super Smash.
You hear me going, yeah, take it.
And I'm like, oh, okay, nothing to worry about. But it was hilarious, because you look like you were hiding something over
right
there.
to the face. So that was my Smash Brothers update for this week. We do have some Pokemon news.
Yes, Koro magazine has revealed not 1, but 2 new Mega Evolutions for Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
First one is Mega Beedrill.
Yes, Dan's favorite.
Nah, I hate bees.
Giant Bumblebee.
Nope.
For you.
Mega Beedrill is a bug poison type. Gains the ability of adaptability, which powers up moves of the same type.
Interesting. I know that will definitely be on your team. In fact, you will have a whole team of just bumblebees.
I will not.
You will name them all. I love these things so much.
I'm going to catch them and leave them in the PC so there's less in the wild.
Oh, they'll just add more. And they also announced Mega Pidgeot. This is a normal flying type with the ability of No Guard, which ensures that attacks by or against the Pokemon land.
So if you're up in the air using Fly, nah, you're still going to get hit. It still counts. Even Protect, I believe certain attacks will still land, even if it's my Chansey, which uses Protect a lot. With No Guard, it's not going to fly.
Awesome, awesome. I will say these and that Mega Slowbro are like the only ones that I've been excited for.
Yeah, let's talk about the designs. I like the Mega Beedrill design. If you haven't seen them, you can check it out on our Twitter, @ReasonsI'mBroke. I retweeted it. Or you can go on to Sirabai.net. But Mega Beedrill, they just enhanced it just enough so it actually looks like the next stage of that evolution. They didn't overcomplicate the design, and it actually looks really nice.
Mm-hmm, I agree. Giant ass bee, man. Awesome. I think he looks much better than the original Beedrill, which kind of looked more like a wasp.
Right.
This one looks more like a bee. Really, really cool. Same with the Pidgeot. Like you're saying, it does look like the next step of its evolution. Keeps with the same format that it had. Didn't make it like super bulky like your Mudkip thingy.
You leave Mega Swampert alone.
You know what?
That thing is awesome.
He looks like he's on steroids.
Cool. I'm a steroid Pokemon.
Or your Gengar who flicks people off.
You're just making my case. But yeah, Mega Pidgeot, I love it. The hair gets even longer. It has the one piece of hair that goes way out past its ass.
He doesn't have hair. He has feathers. And he's trying to attract the ladies.
That's some smooth hair. You're like, they're feathers, goddammit.
I want Mega Pidgeot to be like Shaft. Like, can you dig it? Yes, I can, Pidgeot. Thank you. I will say Mega Pidgeot I will probably definitely be using.
Since you did say last week that you normally have like a Pidgeot on your team, is that going to be your Mega Evolution?
Probably. I mean, I'll see what else they got. Maybe they'll come out with a Mega Lapras.
Oh man, a Mega Lapras. You know it has that little horn? It'd be cool if it grew out even more.
Now just stop. You're ruining Lapras.
How would you design a Mega Lapras?
Just a bigger Lapras.
A bigger shell, maybe? Or
just bigger. He turns into like Godzilla size.
So he's the same design, just larger.
Yes.
All right.
Because he's mega awesome. They need to redesign Mega Gyarados too, because that thing's just weird.
Yeah, I don't really like it that much.
He's like a submarine.
So on to some comic book news. Or superhero news, more than anything.
O-Toys will be bringing a virtual guide of the Batcave from Batman the Animated Series.
I can finally exist in my favorite show of all time.
That's what you're going to be hiding from me 2 in the morning now.
I'm just going to have an Oculus Rift, and I'll just be sitting in front of the Bat computer, tired all the time, just hand on my fucking head, like, every night, Alfred. Every night.
You're like, Dan, I made you some tater tots. And you'd be like, no, the Joker's loose again.
I don't have time for this.
Yeah. There's always time for tater tots.
Fine, I'll take them to go.
Can you put them in your bat belt?
Yeah, and just
chew on them. So they're eating tater tots all day. I love this. Make it happen.
This was a surprise announcement. I never would have guessed this. If they're trying to get me to buy one of those virtual helmet things, this is the way you do it. Like, this is a dream thing idea.
That's what they figured out. They said, well, all our animated series stuff is selling really well. Obviously, these kids have money now. How can we squeeze more money out of them?
Just take it.
Done.
Producer Bruce Timm was involved in making sure that everything in this 3D exploration of the Batcave was accurate to the Emmy Award-winning series. I want to know if this is going to be a Season 1 through 3 Batcave or the Season 4 Batcave. Either way, I'm completely happy. If it's the Season 4 Batcave, you'll see the different bat suits that he puts up, like the Nightwing one, the Batgirl one. I really can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. And if Bruce Timm's there, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a half-dressed lady in the Batcave. Let's be honest. Bruce Timm.
I wonder if Batman will make an appearance, or if you are Batman in the Batcave.
I don't know. It'd be cool if he showed up. He's like, "What are you doing in my cave?"
And then you gotta get beat up by him. Like, oh my god, this is so awesome.
I walk in and you're just laying on the floor like, ah. Dan, what are you doing? Oh, Batman.
So there are a couple of devices that this will work with.
It will work with the 3D tech in Oculus Rift, the Samsung Galaxy Gear, and other virtual reality devices.
It will release this year, winter 2014.
Christmas!
The ultimate Christmas gift to any Batman the Animated Series fan.
Tax return!
For anyone out there, there's a ton of Arrow fans. We do have some Arrow news. We aren't personally watching it, but we did think this was a cool bit of news. According to the CW president, Mark Pedowitz, Liam Neeson considered reprising his role of Ra's al Ghul on Arrow and was even approached for it.
Unfortunately, here's the but, he did not have an open schedule for it.
Damn. I would have been on the show, done. But that would have also meant that the Nolanverse would have been a part of Arrow.
Right. Or Liam Neeson is a part of every verse.
He's the one that can transcend everything.
I would be okay with that. I think this is really cool, though, that they did approach him for it and be like, look, you were a badass Ra's. Why don't you come? And, of course, he's probably making, like, Taken 5 or something.
I was just talking to a customer today at the shop, and he said they should have gotten Liam Neeson for it. And I was like, I had just found this news yesterday. And I'm like, actually, they did approach him with it. But there was no time. There was no scheduling for it.
I mean, you would make time for Ra's. Come on.
We're going to delay the season until he's ready.
You make time for Raish. Even if you're doing Taken 5 or Taken on a Plane 2, that'd be cool. Can they make Taken on a Plane 2?
For now, they can rewrite it so whoever is playing it is Raul Al Ghul. And then next season, the true one will come out, Raish Al Ghul. Raul.
He's got to have that rose in his mouth, the little pencil mustache. His shirt has to be partially open. But with the laces, so he could lace it up, but he doesn't really want to.
It's just loose, hanging there.
Yes. Billowy shirt, but he has to have very tight pants.
Of course. And shirt tucked into those tight pants.
Of course. Raul Al Ghul.
You're going to get your ass kicked, Arrow. It's Raul Al Ghul, bitch.
Raul Ghul, for sure. Well, this is very unfortunate, but Liam Neeson's going to come out with some more great stuff. He's got Taken 3 coming out soon, which... we'll see, I'm sure.
I'm still happy he came back for The Dark Knight Rises. That was a cool little cameo.
He was a hallucination. Spoilers. Sorry, guys.
Next, we got some Marvel news.
Marvel has announced The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl for release in January 2015. This will be written by Ryan North and illustrated by Erica Henderson.
Ryan North, I believe he's doing Adventure Time comics, right? That's where we know him from. I remember he did the Ice King story where he went under the water.
I cried.
Yes.
Oh, I still have that picture on my phone and I get a little tear every time.
He did that awesome story.
That's great. Super excited for this then.
Right, that's the reason. We're following the creator here. We'll give this a shot.
It sounds like it has a lot of potential though.
Yeah, it's adding to the lineup of diversity to their characters, which seems to be all the buzz right now. We're going to get to more of that as we cover the New York Comic Con news. But first, Dynamite has acquired the rights to publish James Bond comic books.
The first arc will focus on Bond's origins before Casino Royale.
They're saying this will be in canon with the movies, and they are set to release the first comic in 2015. No exact date yet.
This sounds like it has some great potential too. Those were some great movies.
Yeah, I think it's a great pickup for them, especially if they plan on putting out that next James Bond movie relatively soon. They can do a really cool crossover with the comics and even do like a in-between like they do with the superhero books and movies, where it's like read the comic before you watch the first movie.
That's awesome. So are they going to do Daniel Craig, James Bond?
I believe they are, because Daniel Craig, I think, is signed on for another 2 more.
But didn't they sign on Pierce Brosnan too? Again?
No.
Oh, maybe that
he tried to be on Casino Royale, and evenally they said
they're like, no.
He wanted too much money.
No. Well, that's good for you. Now you can read your man crush.
I do like Daniel Craig, and he's got a great name.
So here's some great news for all us comic readers, because you should all be reading DC. Because please, Batman, of course. So DC has backed off on raising the price of Batman to $4.99. Although Batman number 35 has already been released, they won't be making this change as they continue to move forward with Endgame.
Yeah, DC said they're going to continue the same page count that they initially said called for this extra $1, but they're going to keep it at that $3.99 level. So it's kind of like a way for them to not only back off, but give us a little bonus. We were kind of like, oh, that sucks. Like, we didn't like it. And we did really enjoy that the creators were on our side, like you said last week. And DC listened. Scott Snyder, though, to elaborate a little bit, he did tweet and say, well, 1, thank DC for it because, it's awesome that they reversed it. But 2, as they were making the story of Endgame, Scott did not want to reveal who the villain was going to be in this next arc, which made it difficult for retailers to order because, as you heard a couple of weeks ago, we knew nothing about it. And it did suck because how do we know how many numbers to get? And DC actually ended up leaving some money on the table because especially after this first issue comes out, everyone's going to pick it up due to this villain. And DC trusted them and said, okay, well, to make up for those losses, though, with the book going out of print, essentially, we're going to raise it $1 and try to sort of soften that blow. So that was the background to it. That's what Scott Snyder was telling people over Twitter.
I'm really happy that they came down on the price, though. And when we get to talk about it later, they're still going to sell books. They're going to sell tons of books. They're going to sell out of what they have now, and they're going to have to go into a second printing, and they're still going to get their money.
As many people know, New York Comic Con is going on right now, and today it is Friday, so we're going to cover tomorrow and Sunday's news on next week's podcast. But for now, I did go through and pick out some of the things that we were especially excited for. The first fact here, there were over 151,000 attendees this year, which makes it bigger than San Diego Comic-Con.
That's ridiculous.
I did not see that coming.
That is ridiculous. That is too many people. Way too many people.
Unless they plan on sponsoring us in the future, then it's good job.
It's a great job. I'm so happy that there's so many people. That's crazy. That's awesome. Good for New York Comic Con.
We have to go one year.
Yeah. I mean, we got to go to San Diego. We got to go to New York. More MegaCon. MegaCon should just be an all-year thing.
It should be.
It should be. Yes, convention should be all-year things.
Something San Diego Comic-Con has been doing, and this bit of information came back up again after this released. They're trying to move to a bigger venue, so that's why they're always limited to under 151,000, but they're under contract until 2016. So after that, they're looking to move and then get back that title of biggest convention in the U.S., possibly even in the world, I think.
Wow. They should just take over Disney.
There's enough people there. Yeah, you can fit all those people at Disney.
Oh, maybe.
Just do it among all the parks in Florida and in California.
Yes. Yes, that'd be great, man. Be like, I'm going to go over to the Haunted Mansion, aka the DC booth.
Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, that'd be badass. Disney just needs to buy DC and make a Batman theme park.
Marvel and DC fans their heads would explode. It'd be like now.
If they made a Marvel DC theme park, done.
Even the diehard Marvel or DC fans would be like, well, I'm still going to go, but I'm not going to like it.
I'm not going to go in the Marvel side of the park.
It would be that petty. Another book did get announced, though.
Yes, Gwen Stacy's Spider-Woman will be getting her own ongoing series in February 2015. This will be written by Jason Latour with art by Robbie Rodriguez.
The same team that did Edge of Spider-Verse #2, which is pretty much sold out at every comic book shop. We saw this coming. Obviously, it did well. They were trying to see which characters were going to stand out with people and really resonate with the customers. And they're going to go ahead and bank off of it, really.
Oh, yeah. Okay, man. Sorry, Gail Simone. Strong female characters. I'm just going to say it. But that's what's selling right now. You're getting women interested in comics, which is great. But they're also telling great stories that are attracting men as well. So that's why they're making money.
Yeah, got to capitalize on the movement. During the Batman panel, they had a Q&A, and that's where it was revealed that Nightwing will return when the Bat family needs to get together the most. That's all they revealed. I think it's going to be at the end of Batman Eternal.
I could see it. Yeah. I knew he was coming back, though. He wasn't going to stay dead forever.
Oh, no, of course not.
And then they're all going to be like, Bruce, you lied to us again.
But they're going to be happier because Nightwing's fine.
Yeah, and then Nightwing's going to have to be like, yo, it's cool. It's all cool.
But I can totally see that happening, like when the Bat family's having some kind of struggle, and then out of nowhere, Nightwing saves them a little bit.
Can he throw a rose like Tuxedo Mask?
And then do nothing and escape?
Throw some petals everywhere and be like, bye, guys.
I think it's exciting. They'll probably make a big event out of Nightwing's return, and they should, because Nightwing has a ton of fans. So,
this is what I'm most excited for. So happy. The Lego Batman movie will be released in 2017 with Will Arnett coming back as Batman. So this is not tied into the other Lego Batman movies that we have based off the game. It's more of the Batman from the Lego movie.
Exactly. This is a spin-off from the Lego movie with director Chris McKay returning for this project, as well as the announced Lego Movie 2. WB actually delayed the Lego Movie 2 to get this movie out in 2017. Do you think this will make more money than the Lego Movie?
Yes. Are you kidding me? Yes.
He was the best part of the Lego movie. Like, everyone laughed during every Batman scene.
I loved his song.
Yeah.
Darkness.
Dead parents. That's on YouTube, everyone. Check it out if you haven't yet. But if you haven't seen Lego Movie, see that first.
Yes, the Lego Movie was great. Like you said, the Batman parts were definitely the best. He's hilarious. I love when he goes off with the Star Wars guys.
If there's a midnight, I will be there.
Yes, absolutely. I will be there as well. And then, man, more Lego Batman merchandise. Keychains.
Very true, yes.
Lots of keychains, lots of magnets. I still want to buy that Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, it's so cool with Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Yes. Oh, that's so awesome.
The only way you can get her. Yeah.
Someday.
We also got a question from Broket at Tales FT Game Grid, which stands for Tales from the Game Grid. He asked, riddle me this. If you don't have good actors or voice actors, a good story falls apart. Do you have any good examples? We both kind of came to this conclusion, to the same one. We wanted to keep it with these superhero movies. First, though, if you want to check out Tales from the Game Grid, you go to arcadearchives.wordpress.com. It is a video game online comic book. We've talked about it before. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do. But what was the movie we both agreed on?
That is The Dark Knight and Miss Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Absolutely. The story of The Dark Knight was great, but the story of that romance between Christian Bale and Maggie, we're like, I'm not really buying it.
Face. I just...
You don't like her face.
I don't like her face. She ranks up there with Kevin Bacon in faces that I do not like. And you know Kevin Bacon's very high on that list.
Yep.
I cannot watch Kevin Bacon movies before he's the old man that he is now. What was that? Frost v. Nixon. Frost versus Nixon.
Yeah.
That was the first movie I could watch from him because he's so old he doesn't look like himself anymore. Is what it is. But I'm so sad they couldn't get Katie Holmes to come back and finish playing Rachel Dawes. Instead we got Maggie Gyllenhaal, which I don't know why. Did nobody else sign up? Did Maggie Gyllenhaal burn all the, like...
But at least Heath Ledger got to say, I fucked your brother.
Oh, good for Heath Ledger. I really hope he said that to her.
Yeah.
I really, really do.
Just to help her with her acting, like, oh, I really hate the Joker now.
But
why'd you keep this secret from me?
To answer this question, yes, I do absolutely believe that if you have a great story and it's not delivered well, then it falls apart. Same with like any book that you read. You could have a great premise for a story, and if you just can't put it into words, who's going to read it? You can't capture and hold attention. Agreed.
Before we jump into comics, for Brokettes out there, Audible is giving listeners a free audiobook download along with a free 30-day trial.
Every week we're going to try and give you guys our Audible book recommendation. For this week, our recommendation is Batman and Psychology, A Dark and Stormy Night.
This explores the psychological side of Batman as author Travis Langley answers questions like, why is Batman a vigilante? Does Batman have PTSD? And why does he choose underage partners?
This is normally a $24.95 book, but it is free with your free trial when you sign up.
You sign up at audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. If you really want to support us and help us out, check out an audiobook. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia.
And that will do it for our news this week. We can now jump into my favorite part of the podcast, our comic book pull list.
We had some really good ones.
Absolutely. We're going to start off with our indie books. We have Adventure Time Banana Guard Academy, number 3. This was written by Kent Osborne and Dylan Haggerty, with art by Mad Rupert. Good for Mad Rupert.
Found out the full name. Madeline Rupert.
Oh, I like Mad Rupert way better.
Yeah. Good
Makes
job
her
on going
sound
with
like
that.
a pirate. And the color is Whitney Kogar.
This is my favorite of the Banana Guard Academy issues so far.
Agreed. We get amazing Ice King, because he's just the best.
He is so cool. I like when they first introduce him, they make him out to be like this great villain, like, who disturbs me? And then they're like, oh, hey, Ice King. He's like, hey, guys. Like, it's so awesome.
I love... Okay, just getting on an Ice King rant for a hot minute. When the show started out, he was a villain that nobody really cared about, and then he was just some crazy old man that nobody really cared about, and then you found out about him. And now he is my favorite character, comic book show. I don't care. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, I'll heal you, Ice King. Everything he does is like, he just wants friends. He wants to be loved because he has that hole in his heart, and it will never be filled.
But then at the same time, he's crazy, so he keeps kidnapping people against their will. But when you know his backstory, you're like, he has to, though. That's all he can do.
Just let him kidnap you. It's fine, princess. Just let him kidnap you.
And then when you know the true meaning behind him calling people princess, it hurts.
Right in the feels.
It's so sad. It's right up there with Mr. Freeze.
Yes, absolutely. So this one, like you said, a lot of fun. Ice King makes a hotel, and he's just trying to have people stay in it.
That's all he wants, just friends, and that's what the whole story is. It's so funny seeing the Ice King try to be accommodating to everyone.
Over-hospitable, yeah.
And it's a riot. I really enjoyed it. Even if you haven't read the other issues, I do recommend just picking up number 3. If you're a fan of the Ice King or Adventure Time, this will be right up your alley. Keeping it with the Kaboom Comics, Bravest Warriors number 25, written by Kate Leth, art by Ian McGinty, and colors by Lisa Moore.
Love this so much more than this last arc that we had.
Different author, that's why.
Yes. Amazing, amazing. This is a Catbug story. Catbug's a badass, man. Badass.
Sure is. You find out who Catbug's rival is. It's Bugcat. The evil version of Catbug.
It's amazing. Amazing. I loved the main story of this, but my favorite part was all the little backup stories where Bugcat's trying to cause problems but only makes things better.
Yeah.
Really, really funny. So much fun to read.
I like Bugcat as much as Catbug.
I do too. They're amazing. I'm really excited to find out Catbug's history though, because if we watched, I believe it was the show, you know that Catbug comes from this crazy ass cocoon thing and you thought he was going to be a super monster and then you're like, no, it's just a catbug. But now I wonder.
Right.
Now I wonder. I would definitely pick this book up, guys.
If you're a fan of the show, if you're looking to jump into Bravest Warriors, do it with number 25. Catbug's secret superpower gets revealed in this.
Next, we have one of my new favorite comics, Hexed number 3. This one's written by Michael Allen Nelson, with art by Dan Mora, and the colorist is Gabriel Casada.
I like that this issue expanded more on Lucifer's position with the supernatural, how she is tied in to Harlot. And I think this issue made Harlot way more interesting because she now has a hold over our main characters, and initially we thought she was an ally, but we see that she kind of sits on both sides.
It's kind of whatever's best for her, which makes her a really interesting character. We start to find out a little more about, I believe, our main villain. They're kind of trying to trick me and make me think she's not so bad, but I know she's bad.
You just want the guy to fall in love with Lucifer.
And he will.
And I think it's going to turn out Lucifer is the really bad guy.
No. He will fall in love with Lucifer because they're setting it all up that he has to have Lucifer. But in the end, he has to have Lucifer. And then it'll all work out and they'll be in love. And they'll have, like, babies.
I could see him sacrificing himself for Lucifer. It seems like it would be a cliche thing, but it would also be like, it would fit so well with everything they've been doing with Lucifer sacrificing herself to save this other girl and trying to get back. And it's just so many things going on with this, even in the background. And I like all the characters, especially Harlot.
Absolutely. Like you said, there is a whole lot going on in this comic, but I didn't feel like it was too much. I felt like it gave me just enough backstory on everybody and continued the story really well. I was not overwhelmed at all, which is difficult to do with how much they gave us.
Next is Sex Criminals number 8, written by Matt Fraction, art by Chip Zdarsky, and colors by Becca Kinsey.
My favorite part was the little sperms.
Yeah, this book is not for kids.
Well, no, obviously not. But I loved the sperms with their glasses and their little hair just swimming around.
They introduce a new character in this story.
I totally thought he was going to be gay.
Really? Like, it would have been a funny joke.
His name is Robert Rainbows. Yes.
Well, I think that's more like to make him attractive to her. I thought that was a joke.
Yes.
When she was kind of imagining him taking off his clothes, it was hilarious. And it's just kind of like, yeah, Robert Rainbows. I'll buy it. But then they give us his backstory and set up everything that he did. I'm like, I kind of like him more than the other guy now.
Me too. The other guy has too many issues.
His childhood was fucked up, so I'm like, yes. And it was funny what happened to him.
This is great, though. We are starting a new arc. So if you guys would like to jump in on this, and I definitely recommend that you do, you can jump in with issue number 8. Characters are still so entertaining, so much fun. We kind of jump between 3 different characters talking, but it didn't feel out of place. It all flowed together very well.
Yeah, still a solid book.
Mm-hmm.
Not our picks of the week, though. We've had some great ones and still haven't reached our pick of the week.
We have not. Well, maybe we have the same pick of the week.
Possibly, I don't know.
Maybe. So up next, again, one of my new favorite comics. They're coming out with some great ones. Teen Dog #2. This is written and illustrated by Jake Lawrence.
This needs to be an ongoing.
This does. This is amazing. I love this book. It's so light. It's so much fun. All the characters are just wonderful.
If you haven't checked it out yet, this comic is made up of different little comic strips. Usually the stories are about 1 to 2 pages long, and it's all about the punchline. And that's why I like it. It's funny, it's drawn so well, and there's like a philosophy behind Teen Dog that I can really get behind.
What are you in detention for, Pug Thug? For being too awesome. That's a thing?
Teen Dog is so cool. He's the coolest. And that's kind of the ongoing joke, but they keep adding to it with the other characters, and now I even like Pug Thug.
I love him too. Teen Dog kind of makes fun of stories as well. There's one point where one character asks him the meaning behind conflict with another character. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, that would get into my backstory, and it's too soon for that.
You'll find out in the next comic. And she was like, what, Teen Dog? So he does do a little bit of breaking the fourth wall, too.
My favorite is the very last page, though.
Yeah, the best.
Where we find out why he's wearing a hat all day.
I love it.
Definitely a great comic, though, guys. #1, if you can still find it, pick it up. I have a feeling this is going to go somewhere.
I hope so. I just want people to, really pick it up. I don't know how sales are on it. I know my shop, we don't really order any extras, but, we have me and one other subscriber down on it, so we're at least getting 2.
Well, because nobody knows what it is yet.
It could be that, too. Thankfully, there's still some available through Diamond.
Get it. Buy them all.
No Marvel books this week, so we will move into DC. Batgirl #35. This is written by Cameron Stewart and Brendan Fletcher, with art by Babs Tarr and colors by Marie Wicks. All new creative team. My pick of the week.
No, my pick of the week. No.
I said it first. I beat you.
No. I was waiting to see if you would say it, but I knew it was my pick of the week. I need to flip tables and stuff when we have the same pick of the week.
See, I'm not as predictable. You would have thought it would have been Batman 35.
No, I knew this was your pick of the week because we kind of talked about Batman 35 earlier in the week.
Big change from what Gail Simone set up. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I really, really like it. Don't get me wrong. I loved Gail's run. Gail's run was amazing. It was the first time I felt they had done Batgirl justice. But this is really great, too. So much lighter. We get to see new characters. I feel like this Gail's book was great. Girls could get into it, too. But I feel like this is a little more geared towards women.
I can see that. Yeah, it has a lot of setup with the relationships that we have with the characters, and it's all in a brand new setting, which goes with the artwork, which is a lot lighter, and I really like that. But they also don't ignore what Gail Simone set up. Mm-hmm. So we are going to have some visits to some of those characters in the past, but they are moving forward in a new direction. And if you're worried about it, if you're like, well, I really liked Gail Simone's thing, why are they changing it? One, follow Gail Simone into Secret Six. You can still support Gail by picking up Red Sonja, which is amazing, and by picking up Secret Six when that comes out, I want to say in December. We're going to be there for that. But at the same time, if you like Barbara Gordon, if you like Batgirl, if you liked Gail's Batgirl, she doesn't really change. In fact, they actually expand on her detective skills, and I really like that part of the book. When you actually see how her brain works when she's breaking down a scene and when she's putting together a story, I love that. And you don't get that with the other Batman books.
It's true, yes. That was one aspect that I really, really liked from that. You get to see, like you said, her detective skills, her sense of justice, where it's, I just want a coffee, but this is what I need to do right now. Mm-hmm. She got with a guy. Good for her. And
she still kicks ass. People that are afraid that, oh, this is just a younger version of Batgirl, one, it is not. But two, it is still her. She gets fired up and will kick ass.
It is. I love to see her in college. That's what I really like about this book, too. Because in Gail's, I felt like she was much older. Mm-hmm. because of all the situations and what she had to go through. But this, right off the bat, she's at a college party.
Yeah.
she's got to get her computer back because she has her college work on there. She's being turned down for things that pertain to her future. And that's great to see that it makes her more relatable. Like, she's just like us.
Something the writer said at the Batman panel is that they're taking this opportunity to say, this is Batgirl taking like a revisit to all of the time she lost when she was in the wheelchair and when she was paralyzed and when she was going through all the shit with her brother and her father now with Batman Eternal. This is her trying to catch up with all of that. And we've all been there. And I think there is such a human element to the character that is now being expanded on. Maybe Gail wasn't allowed to do that with the editors. I'm not sure. I don't know what the backstory is. But this team, it seems like they have just the freedom to do it.
Makes me kind of want to go back to school. Just so I can go to a party and be like, I'm too old for this. So next up, we have Batman number 35. This is written by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV, with art by Greg Capullo and Kelly Jones, with colorist F.C.O. Placencia and Michelle Madsen.
So the highly anticipated Endgame. Mm-hmm. What is it about? If you'll go to any comic shop, check out the cover. It is Batman fighting the Justice League. This is not a cover that misleads you. Yes, Batman will fight the Justice League in this comic, and does kick ass like always. He's kicked the Justice League's ass like 3 times already. Absolutely.
It is pretty much setting up for where I think this arc will go. Like you said, a lot of fighting. We get to see his new headquarters, which is pretty cool. We got Alfred's daughter.
Yes, I love her. Penny too. And Alfred in the same room. Like, I love seeing how they interact as a Bat family.
You get to see a glimpse of Lark and Bluebird.
That's true.
Which is awesome.
I don't know if I think that's a vision to what's going to happen in Batman Eternal, but it gets me really worried because I know things are going to get really dark soon.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And of course you have the reveal of the villain for this arc at the end.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil that for you. We'll talk about it next month when Batman number 36 comes out. But holy shit, it's going to make sales.
The follow-up to this, and I don't know if it's because it was October, but it's really creepy.
Very fitting, yep.
I'm like, I don't really want to go home by myself anymore. Kinda don't want to do that.
It explores the head of a bunch of crazies from Arkham Asylum, and anytime they do that, it's going to be a fun ride, because you see how they see other characters such as Batman or other Batman villains, and their own interpretation and the symbolism behind their evil. And I love that. And you explore that with this, and it's going to continue in the separate issues at $1 cheaper. So this is a bargain, even at the $4.99 price because of the art, the big reveal. But now we're going back to $3.99. Boom, just as it should be.
I will say this about this book, though. Really, Justice League? Really?
Idiots couldn't even...
Really? Like, dummies.
The only part of this that I was like, I'm not so sure, was when Batman is in the that mech suit that he has, and he says, you're going to take me on in my city. Like, bring it on. Like, it was too talky for Batman. Like, he was just too cocky about it. And it's not the first time that Scott's written him like that, and I understand that that's his Batman. But to me, it's still a little bit off. But everything around that was perfect, on point.
Except really Justice League.
there are a couple of scrubs next to Batman.
There's a reason you're called Batman and Friends. Mm-hmm. Batman and Acquaintances.
Exactly.
Because really, I expect this from, like, Nightwing.
I was going to say, is the Bat family more competent than the Justice League? But I guess not.
Except for Nightwing. All the rest. All the rest are.
If Batgirl had not come out this month, or this week, Batman would have been my pick of the week, though.
Yeah.
But what held it back was I would have been fine without the backup story.
But it was spooky. I liked it.
Sure, yeah, it was fine. It was spooky, but...
It didn't help that I was reading spooky stories before that. Mm-hmm. And that I didn't want to leave the room, even though I was really hungry. Because there could have been monsters outside. I need to stop reading scary stories.
Okay, then you will not read Batman 36, because it's going to continue to get scary.
I'm going to read it, but listeners, you have to understand this about me. When I read spooky stories, I don't read ghost stories, because I'm like, ghosts aren't real, whatever. I read, like, people breaking into your house stories. And I'm always home alone when this happens.
The one time that always works out that way, though. Like, anytime you're alone, something will scare anyone.
Of course, and, like, our house creaks a lot, and then sometimes I'll hear, like, a neighbor's door slam, and I'll think it's our door. Just, no.
Our final book this week is Justice League United number 5, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Timothy Green, and colors by Jeremy Cox.
We get to find out more. Pretty much this whole book is Equinox's backstory. Who she is, how she came to be. Kind of rushed, I felt.
Yeah, a little bit, especially with everything going on with the Justice League United being split up. Like, okay, so they're going to go over here and figure out why Hawkman's thing's going off, and they're going to go over here and try to help out the alien baby, and then Equinox, and we're going to find out her backstory. I thought her backstory was cool. It was very reminiscent of, like, the Green Lanterns, or even more of Swamp Thing and Animal Man's thing. Like, it was like another portion of that, and it makes sense because Jeff Lemire wrote those. So cool, like, we got her origin out of the way. I can't wait to see more of Equinox.
I agree. I just felt they wanted you to feel a lot for this character and feel like she had grown. And I would have rather have seen this story in a standalone issue or continued in a standalone issue rather than here it is, it's solved.
Right. I agree.
Everything's good. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, very middle of the road, but still a fun issue. Not my pass of the week.
Nope, not my pass of the week either.
And that will do it for our comics and the podcast this week. Both our picks of the week was Batgirl number 35.
Yep, great issue, guys. Definitely pick it up. I don't think I had a pass of the week.
Awesome, great week. Good week for comics.
Yep.
A lot of jumping on points. If you want to read Batman, get Batman 35, jump in. Batgirl, same thing. Teen Dog, always a good read. Bravest Warriors, get in there. It's all good stuff. We want to once again thank our sponsors for Nerd Up Media, Audible.com, audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia, and all of our friends at nerdupmedia.com. There are other podcasts on there like Those Two Jerks, video podcasts like The Read Pile, Let's Play from the Gaming Guys, and more. Just head on over to nerdupmedia.com. Support them. They're a part of the Brocat family as well.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a review on iTunes. It helps other people find us.
You can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. If you go to nerdupmedia.com, click on The Reasons I'm Broke, you will find a link to everything, including iTunes, where you can leave us a review and support us. And we want to once again thank all the Brokettes out there for the questions. You can submit a question to us on Twitter or on Facebook.
And I do have to chastise you guys. Nobody got me names for my Pokemon. You're supposed to be sending me food names for my Pokemon in Soul Silver.
All right, let's help them out a little bit. Who will be the next Pokemon on their team? Actually, on your team for Pokemon Soul Silver. Or pick one that you're going to catch, and they will name it for you.
Okay, I'm going to catch a Lapras, always. I'll probably eventually have a Dragonite once I get to Blackthorn. I caught a Ghastly. I named it Cabbage.
Tell them why, because it went over my head.
Cabbage gives you gas, and it's a Ghastly.
It makes sense.
And Beans just sounded weird.
Right. Gengar the Beans.
Said it's Gengar the Cabbage. So yes, Lapras and Dragonite.
Food names for those two. Submit it to us. Twitter @ReasonsI'mBroke.
Don't name my Lapras Sushi.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
No.
We got some good Brokettes out there. They're very creative, I know. Let's see what they come up with.
Alright, can't wait to hear what you guys come up with.
Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
See you next week.